everyone, this is Mike Bolin, Chief Analyst of Artillery Intelligence, and one of the questions we often get is, what does the Artillery Pro Premium Intelligence Vault look like? And there we have two options. We have a free demo that lets you see everything that's available without the option to open or download anything, and that's all about giving people a more informed buying decision and give them some confidence before they subscribe. We like to show rather than tell. So to double down on that principle, we've also created this video as a second option, which is a screen share and voiceover walkthrough of the features of the Intelligence Vault. And you can skip right to that using the chapter indicators that you see below. But before diving in, we'll provide some context and a lens through which you can view this video. So to layer in that context, there are a set of philosophies and design principles that we've baked into this premium business intelligence product. So there are three of them I'll mention briefly, and the common theme and the thread through them is that we want to accommodate a range of use cases and research needs, and that's both across different personas or your individual needs that may change from day to day. So the first of those three principles is format variety. So we pack the library full of long and short form formats because there are certain times you may want to read a full report or a 90 slide deck, or there might be times when you want a quick hit information or atomized even down to the individual slide level in our slide bank. So we've indexed everything both ways, and we've made it searchable for the same reason we have content you can read or watch, the latter consisting of lots of conference talks and webinars that we aggregate and analyze and index and summarize for you. So the second principle is findability. So we've set up the library with optionality for both search and discovery. So you may be in browsing mode to see what's new, either overall or within a certain spatial computing subtopic. And at the same time, if you're looking for something very specific to validate a product decision or support a narrative in your marketing or pitch decks, we have a tight search index and search bars throughout the library to be more targeted. And we have support buttons everywhere for our data concierge feature to help you find things, because we know where everything is and we can save you time by pointing you in the right direction. And the third and final principle is source variety. So we have a combination of original and curated material. The original stuff includes our monthly long-form reports and forecasts, and consumer surveys and several other formats, as well as our weekly data briefs. But we've also spent time doing the legwork for you to organize and index lots of outside research. And the value there is as a time-saving tool for you. And this is mostly free stuff that's released by spatial computing companies to communicate their learnings or best practices and original data or case studies. So we've curated the best stuff and indexed it for you. So altogether, with the original and the curated material, it's a really robust library of knowledge that's a one-stop shop, and I'll say it again, a time-saving tool for you. So with that backdrop, let's again show rather than tell and jump right in for more color. And lastly, I'll say that we're constantly evolving the UX, so what you're about to see may change over time in terms of additional features we'll continue to add. So with that, let's jump right in. The first place you'll be brought after you log in is the homepage here. And this is kind of like what I was talking about with the curated experience of people that want to just kind of browse and see what's new. This homepage is sort of a good jumping off point for that. So we have all of our different kind of top level navigation here, which I'll go over in a minute. I'll go through each of these and talk about the rationale and what you can find there. But first, to kind of just gloss over the front page, we have that top level navigation. We have, our featured reports. These are some of the latest ones we're pointing out as, recommended reading. Videos too. I mentioned videos. These are some of the videos that we are building analysis around. So a lot of these are like conference talks. Like we'll spend a lot of time looking at conference talks for our own knowledge building, but we'll also kind of synthesize those and build analysis around them. And again, this front page is just kind of like recommending some of the latest ones. Same thing with data briefs. These are those shorter form deliverables I mentioned, that are things that are, 3 to 5 pages. We look at some, whether it be a case study or a data point that someone has released, and we build some analysis around that and what we believe it means and the strategic implications. So it's a jumping off point for those. You can browse by format, like we said above, browse by topic. So if you're interested in a specific topic, it organizes all our stuff just within that topic. We have curated reading. These are just articles we're reading that we think are, impactful things that we're recommending to subscribers. And then this bottom level navigation are things like, go back home or pro support, or, look at your account and account management, that kind of stuff. So to go back to the top here, I'll go through some of these more targeted areas and what they contain. So the first thing, and this is along the lines of what I mentioned in our original stuff, like our reports. If you go to this tab, what you'll find is, our reports organized in a few different ways. Again, top recommended, and then a chronological archive. And these reports, it's worth pointing out, take on a few different forms. Most months when we do this, because they come out monthly, it's a narrative kind of format. So this one I'll click on just as an example. It'll open up the PDF if you're logged in. And, it's a typical white paper. This one's 35 pages. This particular report was on several case studies we've done about, advertising, AR advertising campaigns, where we kind of went through the campaigns themselves after a few introductory pages. The campaign themselves, what was the learnings, what were the strategies applied, what were the results, and we kind of organized that throughout. I think there are 12 case studies in this paper, and just with our analysis around it. So that's an example of one of the longer narrative long-form reports that you can find in this library. We also have a few different data deliverables here. Like I'll click on 2 of them here to show you an example. One of them is our kind of market sizing and forecasting. And that's more of almost like a slide-based format as opposed to reading pages. It's more browsable, and it contains lots of data slides in addition to some of the narrative analysis. This key takeaway section at the beginning, obviously lots of narrative analysis of these subsectors of the mobile AR universe. Sorry, I'm going through this quickly. Obviously, you can go back at your own pace and see some of these, but I'm just, as a representative example, this is kind of what it looks like. Narrative analysis, lots of data slides as you go through this. This is probably like a 60 to 70 slide deck with lots of different data points and original research. So that's an example of that. Another data deliverable we do is original survey data. And this takes form in more of that kind of word-based kind of pages rather than slides, but nonetheless, it includes lots of data points that are from our original survey data that we do in combination with our data partner Thrive Analytics, which is fielded to over 1,000 U.S. adults on their various mobile AR consumption patterns, and we build a report around those data points. That's what it looks like. So that's a few examples of what you can find in this section of the library where it's our original reports. Now, one other thing I'll point out here before moving on is that what we also do is we create this section called briefs and excerpts. So again, with the pursuant to the goal of having many different types of kind of formats and accommodating many different kind of goals. If you don't feel like reading a full paper, we've atomized that same content into these shorter articles. They come straight from the papers, but allow you to kind of like read sections of them either by searching or by browsing with these kind of tabs. Like, so for example, if you're looking at, if you're interested in some of the report excerpts that are on social, in the social media realm, you can filter by that, or gaming, or what's another good example? Say you're interested in VR. You can filter in that way, and they will automatically filter in front of you, which is a nice time-saving tool. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, in addition to all of this browsing and breaking down the content in different ways, on every page you'll find this search bar. So let's say I'm looking for, data or analysis that's on, like I was doing this earlier, Generation Z. It will essentially do a typical keyword search for all of our library materials that are on that topic. 40% of Gen Z users use social AR lenses, and lots of other things that mention Gen Z Here's a great presentation series from AWE from Christina here that we kind of did in our XR Talk series. So the next one is data briefs. This is similar to what I was saying earlier, where in addition to long form reports, we do these weekly 3 to 5 page things that are a lot more digestible. And they're on just different data points that we are sinking our teeth into that are either a company that has released its kind of usage stats or anything else that we're finding out there that we believe is impactful for the ongoing evolution of the AR sector. We'll build an analysis around it. I'll click on one just as an example. This is data that Samsonite with their eBags division has released about their campaign metrics around the visualization of their bags. And, we'll usually either include a video, a data point, our narrative takeaways on what they've done and what it means. And then, and you can get a sense for the length of that. That's probably about, 600 to 700 words. So a very, again, digestible article. And there's several of them, as you can see, because we do them on a weekly basis. And then we archive some of the older ones here. And this has, similar to the other thing I was saying, this is our kind of typical structure that we use, our form factor that we very much like, which is some of these filters, these dynamic filters for different topics that will kind of self-filter for you. And that's something we've kind of programmed into the site that we like that. But we'll continue to evolve as we get feedback from people and as we ourselves evolve. But that's the way that looks now. So the next thing here is the Multimedia Library. I alluded to this earlier for people that want to watch rather than read, which is sometimes you're in lean back mode, right? So the kind of flagship here in this, there's a lot of different formats here. I'll go over them quickly. But the flagship, as I referenced earlier, is conference talks. We spend a lot of time, and these are done on a weekly basis, kind of out there looking at all the different videos. And those used to be stage presentations. These days, there are a lot of, obviously, kind of virtual presentations. And, there's a lot of fluff out there. There's a lot of kind of self-serving marketing stuff, but there's also a lot of just good, insightful things. So we just kind of do the legwork to find the insightful ones. And these posts, the way they're set up, is, I'll click on one as an example. It's similar to the other things I showed, which is, it's our narrative analysis and takeaways. It'll include some quotes, what were the impactful quotes from the video. And then also just the video itself. This was a two-parter. This was Shape Immersive. They did this two-parter with all these great speakers. And you can just hit play right from within the post because it's embedded there. Or if you don't have time to read it, watch it, you can read our takeaways and then make a decision. So like the other things I've showed, it has that format where you can filter them by topic. You can search by keyword. Here's a good one. This is the Snap Developer event where, we broke down Christina's biggest takeaways and all the new announcements. And so that's a good example of the types of things we'll do there for the Multimedia Library. Another few things I'll just go through briefly here. Our presentations, our kind of 5-minute thought leader videos. We have webinars. That's another one we added recently. Lots of webinars out there, and we kind of sift through the good ones and we put them here for people to watch if they, are inclined to those topics. Podcasts, the same. We have a partnership with the AR show, and we analyze their episodes and provide the embedded audio. And, that's it. So a lot of multimedia there. So next in line, we have our slide bank. So this is an interesting one because, when companies we find are just kind of like building slides, sometimes they just want individual slides that just kind of support the narrative that they're making, whether it be a sales pitch or something else. So we have these categorized and searchable individual slides of data points. And again, it's our own data points plus others that we're kind of running across on a daily basis. Whenever we run across one that's worthwhile, we put it in here, we title it, we tag it, and we have it be part of our taxonomy. And I won't go through all of these, but the topics are, typical AR, VR, consumer, enterprise, market sizing, media and advertising. This is one we're spending a lot of time looking at, a lot of campaigns, a lot of proof points. So that's the slide bank, curated content. So we have a link to some of the articles we're recording, but then also these reports. We have them categorized by these different topics. Where are we? So case studies. What we've done is, this is interesting. So case studies is like among all of those other kind of formats that I showed you, what we've done is we've plucked out the ones that are case studies that are just demonstrable lessons. So that's either a thing that a company has done or an ad campaign they've run or something where it's like a single, discernible and transferable lesson from something a company has done. So we've taken all the things we've done and we've put them here under those tags. So you can see there's several of them of just kind of different things that companies are doing that we think are worth shining a spotlight on because they have demonstrable lessons for AR execution in various areas. So that's case studies. Browse by topic. I mentioned this earlier. If you're just interested in one of these like subsectors of AR and VR, you can go here and view all of the content just kind of like in one organized bucket. Event discounts is an interesting one. This was a point of value that we think is kind of on pause because of the, obviously the state of the world, less physical events these days. But one thing that our subscribers were finding a lot of value in for a while, and we believe will kind of find its way back eventually, is we partner with all of the top events in the space, the AWEs of the world, and other just large conferences and even smaller conferences. At any given time, we would have almost 10 events where we would have a discount code for our subscribers. So for people that are going to a lot of events, they can save a significant amount by utilizing this tool. And the way that works is essentially we become a media partner of that event, and we work on cross promotion. They love having their event promoted through our channels, and in return, they promote us on their conference site, but also they give us a discount code for our network, and we reserve those discount codes for Artillery Pro subscribers. And then lastly, the best of AR Insider. So AR Insider is our sister publication where we spend a lot of time covering news and other things in the state of the world. And what we'll do is about weekly or so, our editorial output will include like a deeper thought piece, like a feature style piece where we're just kind of really analyzing, as opposed to something where we're just pointing out a piece of news. So those are just kind of buried within the AR Insider daily flow of articles. So what we've done for Artillery Intelligence subscribers is we've plucked out the cream of the crop best articles and put them here and categorized them. And they're just kind of, essay style articles on various trends that we're watching in AR. So that's actually it for like all of the different buckets of content. And I know that's probably a little bit unwieldy because I just showed you so much. But what I would say is, as like a fallback, if you don't want to kind of go through all of those steps, like if you don't have the time to look through all of those different sections, two things: utilize the search bar. We put a lot of work into making sure everything is optimized and searchable in terms of keyword and relevance and other things like that. And also the support thing, which I didn't show you yet, but Pro Support brings you to a page where you can use what we call the data concierge, which is, it comes right to our inboxes and we help you find any kind of wish list you may have in terms of data points you're looking for. And the point is that, we know where everything is. So if you kind of don't want to spend a lot of time looking for it, or if you look for a little while and don't find what you're looking for, use this and we'll help you find it. And the other key point is that if we don't have it, that's a good demand signal for us that perhaps it's something we should have. So we will look beyond our own four walls to perhaps help you find the data you're looking for if it exists. And then once we find it, we also benefit because then we can add it to the library. So the point is, this is something that we can kind of work together on. So we'll pause there. Please reach out with any questions using the contact forms that are linked at the top and bottom of each page of the Pro library, and those land right in our inboxes. So we hope this has been valuable. This is Artillery Pro's walkthrough. I'm Mike Bolin. Thanks for watching.